Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Offer, which is about Albert S. Ruddy's never-before-revealed experience making The Godfather. And this had some controversy because for Paramount Plus, this was originally going to be starring Armie Hammer as Ruddy, and obviously that had to change, and bring in Miles Teller. And this, first and foremost, is extremely entertaining. From start to finish, all 10 of these episodes, I was engaged, I was watching, I was enjoying, I was having fun. There were some tense moments. The mafia and different mobsters get involved and try to mess things up, and there's scary violence at times. It's just like, oh. And, you know, there's sex and, like, the whole making of experience with film really sells this, and I had such a blast watching it. It does lean into some very annoying tropes of, like, the lampshade hanging of, like, perfect example. Of course, one of the most iconic scenes in the history of film is, like, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. And, you know, it's a dark room. It has all the shadows. He has the cat. It's perfect. They're making that scene. It's like, this scene's too dark. What's with the damn cat? Nobody's ever going to like this or be able to see what the hell's going on. Obviously, those kind of lines are for the audience to be like, ha ha, not right at all. And you're just like, ugh. And they do it all the time throughout this series. But, you know, you could get past that. There's moments where, like, the writing in terms of that isn't the strongest. And a lot of times it does lean into, like, here's the greatest hits. Like, the last episode, going to the Oscars, it's like, bam, here's an award. Yay, bam, here's an award. It's like, Brando wins Best Actor. Young Native American woman walks up. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, we know. And that's the kind of thing where it's just like, it leans heavily into prior knowledge that culturally we have. But where this series really soars is I love how they present the filmmaking process and also the characters. And you have Al Ruddy, played by Miles Teller, who gives a great performance with his deep voice. And, you know, Miles Teller is charismatic. He's a presence. And the dynamic that he has with Juno Temple's character, Betty McCart, as they develop this connection with each other, this friendship, and how she grows. And, you know, a lot of these characters have their own romantic situations in the series, and, like, Miles Teller's Ruddy has some of his own elements. And, you know, you have Betty, who winds up catching the eye of one of the gangsters who works for the Colombo family, which we'll get to Giovanni Ribisi. Oh my god. It's like, his performance is something else. And, like, he does the job, but he feels like a caricature at all times. And, like, you know, Columbo could have been 100% like that, but it just comes off a certain way in this series, and you're just like, oh my god. But when the actual emotion and the drama with him in it, he delivers. Ribisi's a good actor. And this, like, you have the elements of, like, the mobsters and them getting involved. You have Lou Ferrigno, who winds up playing the member that winds up being Luca Brasi in the film. But you have Betty, who gets to grow into her own and her own connections with the crew and the higher-ups. And Juno Temple really steals the show. But Booby, who really steals the show, is Matthew Goode, who is Robert Evans, and he runs Paramount. And he is such a character in this, and he is so great to watch. But he also has the conflicts of butting heads with the head of the company that owns Paramount, and butting heads with the main antagonist of the series, who I'll get to in a bit. But he also has his own relationship issues, his own alcohol issues. And Evans is an interesting character. Ruddy's an interesting character. And Teller and Goode give great performances, and that's what really works. Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola, I'm like, are you kidding me? But he's really great. And despite the fact that he's considerably shorter than Francis Ford Coppola, which is an interesting choice, but he sells it. He sells his personality, and generally he has look down too, but, like, Fogler is a surprisingly really talented actor, and I really like him. And I think from an acting standpoint, he was a good choice to be Coppola. Gorman, who plays Charles Bluedorn, who runs the company that owns the studio, he is just a blast and such an asshole so much of the time. But like he's having tons of fun. Barry Lapidus, played by Colin Hanks, is like the main antagonist who he is so underwritten to the point where he's just like, everything you say I hate, and I'm just gonna like make a big deal about it. But like Colin Hanks plays his character so well, you just hate him. Like you really do. You just hate him. And you really feel that energy. And sometimes I feel like that they just throw too much conflict, and it's just like, come on, can we just let like one piece of this movie just go by without being like, nope, Lapidus is here, Colin Hanks, poo-poo on your parade. But it works, and he is obviously the main antagonist here, and like one other gangster that pops up for a bit. But you also have a lot of these actors playing actors. Like you have Al Pacino, you have James Caan, Burt Reynolds pops up, Paul Newman, Robert Redford pops up at one point, and just you have Brando, which that was an interesting performance. And then you have like Frank Sinatra who pops up. You have all these real people, and I think they do interesting jobs of portraying all these characters. But when it really comes down to it, this is a thoroughly entertaining. It's an interesting story about how this film somehow got made and all the conflicts that went on. And, even if it lampshades a lot, and even if it glosses over some things and feels like more of like the greatest hits of creating a movie at times, this is a series that is well acted, thoroughly entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely recommend it. I think this is something that a wide breadth of a lot of people can enjoy. And I think Paramount Plus has a win on their hands. But those are my thoughts on The Offer. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.